When did your toxic older sibling fly too close to the sun? My foster brother insisted I was poverty-shaming his rough childhood by playing video games, and our parents agreed. Norman had spent the first 13 years of his life raised in one of the worst crack houses in the city, but despite this, he actively claimed it didn't give him any sort of trauma or PTSD, like he was proud of coming out unaffected. Until one year he found out my Christmas present was worth $14 more than his. Suddenly, he was a broken victim with complex PTSD, and seeing younger kids get nice things activated his repressed memories. When my 10-year-old cousin got LED lights for her birthday, he broke the remote because his childhood had no light. He even told my aunt to stop buying her kids Christmas presents, then demanded our parents compensate him for what he never had with monthly surprise gifts. And when I got a PS5 with my own money, he said this was emotional violence. I first told him he could play too, even offered to buy him a custom-made controller, but he refused. Upon his request, my parents only let me play when he wasn't in the living room. I even used headphones, but that wasn't enough. Norman didn't feel safe walking around the house knowing his repressed trauma was being shoved in his face. Within a week, the PS5 was moved to my bedroom where the monitor ran at 30 FPS. That satisfied Norman for 2 days. I got home from school to find Mom cradling him on the bathroom floor. He was shaking, tears streaming down his face. When he saw me, he started backing away like a mouse seeing a cat. 20 minutes of crying later, he opened up about how he caught a glimpse of the PS5 menu walking past my room. All those other kids, he sobbed. They had bedrooms, games. I had nothing. Mom somehow took his side. She looked at me like I was the one who raised him in the crack house. The new rules were immediate. 1 hour of PS5 max. After 9 p.m. only because that's when Norman goes to his room. Minimum TV brightness so the light doesn't shine through under the door for him to see. When I tried to protest, Dad said, "He's never had what you have. Are games worth destroying his recovery?" They made me feel like the bad guy. So for the next few weeks, I tried my hardest. I followed every rule and focused on just enjoying my games. But then Norman started documenting my violations. Photos of the light under my door, claiming it gave him glimpses of what he missed. Recordings of aggressive clicking of my controller from the hallway. After enough of these violations, my parents gave me a choice. Give the PlayStation 5 away or move it to the basement. I chose the basement. It had no heating and spiders dropping onto my head from the ceiling. The old TV had maybe 3 working pixels, but at least I could have my volume up and play for as long as I wanted. That's what they said. Until Norman failed his midterm. He'd been skipping class to hang out with college kids and smoke grass. But somehow, failing was still my fault. He told our parents he could hear the PS5 through the floor during his study time, but decided to not say anything, so I enjoy what he never had. My parents looked at him as a martyr. The next day, they moved my PlayStation 5 into our garage that hadn't been used in years. This way it was impossible for Norman to hear. The garage was filled with opened paint cans from the 80s. Dead wasps, cockroaches, ants, insects science hasn't even discovered. That's where I spent my Saturdays, as gaming was now again banned on weekdays. It stayed like that for 3 months. Nobody complained. But then Norman needed something from the garage. When he walked in, it triggered full-body tremors. He collapsed on the floor and needed help. That's when my parents decided they were done. The only possible solution was to sell the PlayStation 5. He can play mobile games, Norman said, still acting like Mother Teresa. That's what poor kids did. That's what I did. My parents nodded. Mom started looking up secondhand PS5s on eBay. That's when I snapped. "Shut up!" The words exploded out. "I offer to share. I've done everything you asked." Norman played the victim again. "I'm sorry I was poor, okay? It's my fault I have trauma and my parents beat me. I'm such a failure." "It's okay, Normie." Mom hugged him. His face changed to a smile. "He's going to sell the console, sweetie, don't worry." I couldn't take it anymore. "I'm done," I yelled. "You want to see what your precious traumatized sweetie actually does?" I pulled out my phone and connected it to the TV in the living room. I set up a camera after my controller went missing 4 weeks ago. Norman's face went white. He marched towards me, but his sudden reaction caught my parents' eye. "What's going on, Norman?" Dad said. "Nothing." "Every Sunday," I interrupted. "When we're at church, Norman's been charging neighborhood kids $10 an hour to play my PS5. The footage started playing. There was Norman, collecting money from the 2 quiet brothers from around the corner. Mom's mouth fell open. "I'm not done." I swiped to the screenshots of Norman's texts. "Don't worry, my foster parents believe anything if I cry." Dad stepped forward. "Norman, is this, and isn't it such a coincidence," I interrupted, "that the exact day these kids said they couldn't afford to pay him anymore is when he demanded I sell the PlayStation 5 completely?" The room went silent. Norman was about to cry. Real tears this time. My parents were staring. Full story on channel linked below.